I think NB would be the way to go for me sometimes, but I use male pronouns exclusively. Who's gonna tell her? That brings me to today. What I mean to say is, like, when someone finally decides to take their last foot out of the box of he, him, or she, her into the other box where it's he, him, or she, her. I always felt like they and in between non-binary, it's, for me at least, it was a very experimental period where I just wanted to see how I felt with both, or not both, like there's more obviously, but like just, you know, different pronouns and how I felt about them. And I've always mentioned, or rather, I, like, as I was experimenting, some people started just using she, her for me, probably because they wanted me to transition, let's be real. But when they did use it for me, it felt warm, like there was a glow, like it felt nice, it felt like I was being uplifted, I felt more attuned to it, things like that. And I think it's really important to not force people to transition and rather let them just go about their own way, discover it on their own instead of being rushed into it, because like some people have detransition. I know a bunch of friends that have like decided they didn't want to do that afterwards, and there's some health cost to it because of that, and that's fine, it happens, right? So but I remember as the years have gone by on the internet as the creator, I can even look back at like my older content now. If some of you are new here, if you go look at like my old videos, you'd be like, who is this person? What are they doing? Because I would really just like lean into being a cross-dresser who used he, him back in the day. But I would make it very, like, I would make my appearance as close as I could to a woman at the time. And very extremely, might I add. Just when I look back at some of my old videos, maybe I'll make a video where I react to them, but just like some of the stuff that I did, it's just like, why did I dress that way? Why did I do that? Yeah, just, for me, it took a while. Obviously, I transitioned very late into my being an adult, right? But do I regret it? No, not one bit, not at all. And do I wish I could have done it earlier? Yeah, obviously sometimes, but I think better late than never. And it's still great, like right now, just being able to just be me. So, but again, like growing up through the internet, and as you know, it got more acceptable for being LGBTQ plus on the internet, especially in the gaming space, especially in front of like millions of people that can just like look at you and just make a snap judgment about who you are and what they see. It's been interesting to see people's different opinions, but it's always been a minority of people that would be like, why don't you transition now? You'd be happier. Or you should just transition because clearly you're this or that. And I have friends and people that I know that even I'm just sort of like, but I won't say anything because I want them to just kind of follow their own little journey of self-discovery. I think that's very, very important for someone to grow and learn and discover who they are rather than being pressured by the people around them. And I still see it happen all the time. And I remember back then, it bothered me a lot, and it still does technically when someone, not pointing out names, but there are some people that like to brag about being like, oh, I knew you're gonna transition or something like that. It's like, I don't think that's cool. Personally, I just don't think that's cool, right? But I kind of get it. Like the egg jokes, like I hate egg jokes. I really do. But they make sense in the grand scheme of like people that haven't transitioned yet. It's a great coping mechanism. It's a really kind of like dark humor kind of way to kind of just, you know, make fun of yourself and, you know, just kind of like cope with a situation, whether you're in like a dangerous situation because you can't transition right away versus just, you know, just trying to go about your day about like you're trans, but it took you a while to do it or whatever. So, but when I did transition, I remember like, so you remember how back in the day, I used to like look full on as much as hard woman as I could, right? I even had like an OnlyFans account for a while where I did a bunch of modeling, but I would also wear like very risque things, especially on YouTube videos, which still I'm just like, why did I do that? But I would always make it a point to dress as femininely as I could because I love juxtaposition. I love seeing two things that don't make sense together all the time. And that's what I was all about. So I was very much he, him, and just like whatever the hell I was wearing. I even had like a breastplate and everything like that too, to go with the whole ensemble and whatnot. The moment I transitioned, the moment I finally decided, hey, I am a woman, I'm gonna live my life as one. And as people saw me on the internet, I was pretty like confident with myself. I would just like share who I was with everyone and do whatever. Right? But the moment it came to bring it into real life, that took a while for me to like slowly come out a little bit more, because I realized I never shared it outside with like work, colleagues, parents at the time, family, things like that. And that was kind of scary for sure, because I wasn't sure how they were going to react. I knew how everyone on the internet would react, and I was comfortable with that fact already. But to come out to the people that you live around and see every day, that was one of the first times where I felt very unsure about my decision about coming out. Thankfully, it's been wonderful. People have been very respectful. They've been trying, at least, right? People at my work have been trying their best to accommodate and, you know, use the right pronouns and things like that. Same with my parents, even my mom. I never expected her to do this, but she shared it with the rest of the family, and they're all aware of it. And as far as I know, they're cool with it. So that's great. I think like I'm pretty lucky as a person, especially in this day and age, to be as accepted by as many of the people that are important to me in my life. I don't think I've really cut anyone out that was transphobic to me in some degree. Maybe one person, but I can't remember who they are. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just kind of came to mind because when I shared that original tweet from the beginning where I said I exclusively use he, him, haha. But there were signs. There were definitely signs back then, which lead to like, oh, Rin, maybe you might be, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let you figure it out, right? I think that's important, right? And I'm just looking back, like, would I change anything back then? Would I go back and tell myself, like, if I were to time travel back and be like, you're trans, I think for sure, if I was myself 7 years ago or whatever, how long, I don't know, when the tweet was, like 2017, I would be like, no, and I'd be being the person that I am. I'm very stubborn. So if you tell me, that's probably part of another why I hated people assuming that I should just transition right away. I hate being told what to do. I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it, especially now still. I still hate being told what to do and who to be and whatnot, right? So I think back then I probably wouldn't have taken it, but thankfully the people around me were very, considerate to not, push that idea on me. Like, just let Rin be Rin. Like, support her in, him in his, his identity at the time, where he felt like this is okay to be, right? Support it. Just support it. See where they go after that, right? And if they do come out, be more supportive, because it's a very scary world out there still for transgender people. You just come out and all of a sudden your respect with, like, let's take my YouTube channel, for example. All of a sudden people that were around you, all of a sudden just disappear simply because you're trans, right? And I think anyone in LGBTQ+, especially need the support from people today, wherever they can, just to show that it's safe and, relatively safe, right? But it's okay to be who you are, and you don't have to face so much backlash for it. I still see it happen all the time with certain groups and they're friends of mine and people in my community and things like that. People that feel stuck, that they can't go out there and express themselves. So I think that's why I want to keep doing the things I want to do on the internet, so I can exist and show people that I'm just me. I'm she, her, but I'm still the same idiot on the internet that, does whatever she does. Right? That just got me thinking today when I saw that tweet, because I like to go back and look at old things that I used to say on the internet and be like, ha 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 ha. Because no, I get it. Like, I get it. It's funny, right? It's funny to be like, oh, science. Oh, what an egg. I get it, but I also don't like it, but I get it. I understand. So, yeah, and I think that's the reason why once you do come out, or once you do finally embrace your identity, is why a lot of trans people, or anyone LGBTQ+, once again, they like to just flaunt it and share it because it's finally safe and it's something you can like be proud of and, you know, share as much as you can, especially when you like to look at yourself in the past and compare it to the present and put them together and you're like, look, I used to be like this, but I'm finally out. Yay. Like, I think I get it now. I used to be annoyed by people like that. I get it. I get it now. I understand. So that's today's yap. Don't force people to transition when they, you know, even if that feels like, oh, maybe they might in the future, they definitely show signs or whatever. You're like, your experiences are as like what, you know, people should be and how they should act. Just, you know, hold their hand. Hold their hand. Walk along with them on their journey and just support them along the way. That's it. That's all you gotta do. If they transition, sick. If they don't, sick. Cool. That's it. Anyway, just wanted to yap. I'm streaming today. Come watch and hang out. We're doing it on YouTube exclusively. Now I'm gonna go back to eating a bunch of cucumbers in this Tupperware. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.